So that's most likely Aatrox top lane. They ban Akali. I would play GP, but I feel like I don't need to play GP into Aatrox. I can literally just pick Riven and I'll win the game against it. This is what I mean, like, I'm learning champions, but I also want to win every game. So like, I'm doing it as like counter picks. I'm learning it as I pick for counter picks. I played like if they didn't ban Akali, I would have practiced Akali into Aatrox. Let's do this. Riven into GP. You shouldn't pick it into Akali. You shouldn't pick it into Ryze. You shouldn't pick it into any in most ranged champions like Kennen. You shouldn't pick it into Renekton. You shouldn't pick it into Poppy. A lot of tanks you shouldn't pick it into. She has lots of champions that you don't want to pick her. You don't want to pick her into. Ryze beats Riven? Not necessarily. Technically, yes. If they both have jungle pressure, right? Technically, Ryze is really fucking. Like, if the Ryze plays near perfect, Riven can't touch him. It's way too hard to do anything. You can play safe, but you'll be down like 30 CS or something in the matchup, which is again a losing matchup. You shouldn't do that. At least what I'm trying to do is to not play any losing matchups ever. I want to always have a winning matchup. Yeah, I'm gonna let the wave push the entire way. I don't want to fight him here. Typically this matchup becomes Riven favored really hard once Riven hits level 6. The first 5 levels, Aatrox can play the matchup pretty well. It's not that bad. Ooh, that's not good. Alright, I'm resetting. Fuck, I got shit on. I'm gonna back up the whole way. I don't want to get towered over by Rengar. He gonna stop my recall? Yeah, he is. Okay. Okay. This is gonna help out a lot. Did he just suicide or is he getting kills? He just suicided. Yeah, that's rough for them. They were doing so well until they tried doing that dive. I don't know why they tried doing that, but if they don't do that, they're actually in a winning position. I'm so confused as to why he did that. I'm gonna see if I can make him push this wave to me. I don't have flash. I don't want Rengar to do anything to me. I want him to push this lane to me. Yeah. Him queuing like that. AoE hits the minions, makes it push to my side. I want to freeze it here before I try to all in him. Because if I attack him right here and go for an all in. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I was gonna say he can E away, but he just E'd into me. So like, if he E's into me, he dies. So if he had saved his E and just Q'd me, I wouldn't have gone for that in that situation. I'm gonna freeze this. Why freeze when you're ahead? Because in this situation, like, they're making a play bot lane from what I see right now, right? They're making a play. Honestly, this is gonna break my freeze and it's gonna slowly push back to his side, but typically, I just want to make sure I have this. Hajin is saying Champions League no counter, it's mad. It's funny because I agree with him. I agree with him in matchups like this, like bruiser matchups. If Riven even gets like the slightest thing, there's no counterplay. You legitimately get shit on for the rest of the game and you lose the game. But here's the thing, this game, League of Legends, is really not balanced at all. Like, when you have shit like GP, Ryze, and Akali, you can really tell this game has no balance in mind. There's no counter Riven. There is counters Riven, but it's in champ select, which is a problem, right? Like, if you go a bruiser, like Aurelia, right? Or something like that, and the Riven plays insanely well, you don't really have any way to counter the Riven getting a snowball lead. You just slowly lose the game until you're at your Nexus. That's why TF Plate hates fucking playing against her, especially against my Riven. It's really fucking hard to be able to do anything against a Riven that's snowballing like this. You can play Aatrox and Sailing Wind to perfection. No, see, like Aatrox doesn't have those tools. Aatrox can't outplay. It's like if I'm going Riven against Kennen, right? If I'm going Riven against Kennen, Riven, Kennen will play to perfection. I really feel like, at least from this is my opinion. Okay, I could be wrong. There's like a 1% chance that I could be wrong, but the champion or like the matchup should never be won, no matter what. Like, the one champion has better tools to beat the other one, and there's nothing you can do. It's done. That's literally the way this game works. There are some counter matchups in this game that just make it so you can't play the game, which is really, really stupid. But that's the way it is. This isn't a game where you're fighting your opponent based on like mechanics, right? The mechanics of the game. You're basically picking a champion. Shit, I can't reach any of these guys. Dude, they're kiting so well. I'm gonna back up. That's enough for me. It's a human being playing Kennen on a perfectly programmed robot. But okay, here's the thing: you don't have to play. You don't have to play it to AI levels of good. You don't have to play that good. Like, I'm playing Riven really well these games. I'm not playing her to an AI level, right? I'm not. But I know that if I play as well as I do, matchups like that, no, like the other champions doesn't have the tools to beat me. Again, I could be wrong. If you maybe put like two AIs against each other that play perfectly, maybe something could happen, right? In the matchup that makes it so it's not how you thought of it beforehand, right? But that's like a completely different thing. If we're talking about human versus like one player versus another player interactions, that's the way I see it. Isn't it tough just the first one who gets the kill and makes the other his bit? But here's the thing, some champions can't get a kill on the other champion because the matchup is so one-sided. What do you guys think I pick? What do you guys think I pick Riven? Like as I was saying, I'm learning champion, right? I'm learning champions, right? But what do you guys think I pick Riven into bruiser matchups like this? Because I know that my opponent can't do anything. I know that if I play it super well, like 1v1 wise, there's nothing he can do. Now, that doesn't mean that Riven wins every time in like every match. That's not what that means. It means that at least for the 1v1, like you know, there's not much your opponent can do. In overall, if you go through multiple games, the win rate will be like 50-something% win rate or more if it's a counter matchup. But like, there's so many little variables that could happen in a game, like your jungler camps you or something, so the Aatrox wins, or I don't know, like Renekton versus Riven is a good example. Riven can't do anything against Renekton, but you can actually win games against Renekton with like utilizing the other things like jungle help, mid rotations, and all that. But then we're not talking about the matchup anymore. We're talking about everything else that's happening in the game. Can Riven beat Darius? That's actually a tough one. I don't have the answer for that. I feel like 1v1 wise, Darius should never lose, but it's really, see, that's one of those matches where like Riven can play safe and you can both just 50-50 the game. But there's really like I've played against some really good Darius mains and I feel like you can't really engage on them as Riven. You don't have enough damage to kill them straight on. Actually, I don't know with the current Conqueror. I legit don't know with the current Conqueror. But with the old Conqueror, I know you couldn't. Let me reset here. Then why is Riven rarely played in pro games? You know, the honest truth is because in pro play they pick a lot of champions like GP, Vladimir, Ryze, Pantheon if it's open but they permaban that thing. They pick Renekton. They pick all those champions that Riven can't really do well. They can't really do anything against. And even like if you go against a tank, right? And if they pick a tank, why don't you pick something scaling like GP or Vladimir and then have way more pressure than Riven can later in? Viper brings out Riven in LCS from time to time, right? Why? Because he can't. Because he's usually not playing one of those matchups that's impossible. He usually picks it in very specific situations. This was more of a base mechanics game, like a fighting game, instead of just like pick a matchup and win the matchup or put more pressure. Like, I wish it was more like that, but I feel like it's really hard to balance out 150 characters like that, especially in the way that Riot's made this game, where it's like with such drastic ways of playing like each champion. Like it's just so different. Like with Zoe and all that shit, like you can't. It's not a fighting game. It's not like that. You're wrong, load to MOBA. The game became worse the more mechanical champions they added. No, you don't understand. I'm saying like base mechanics. I mean, by base mechanics, I mean like this could be really boring, right? But I meant it more as like everyone is Garen, but they just look different. That's really boring, right? But there's like no. It's extremely boring, right? But you could add like a little thing that's different between each champion, like that's very slight, a very slight change. But you know what I'm trying to say? I'm not trying to say like they should add more things to the game. I'm saying like everything just plays so different from each other, or at least for the most part, that it's just based on matchups. It's not so much on like, oh, I'm outscaling you because I'm dodging this and I'm doing that way better than you. It's just like you don't have the tools in some matchups to do that. Like there's some matchups that break this rule, like Riven versus Fiora. Riven versus Fiora is so fun to me. It's so fun for me. But there's not that many matchups in this game like Riven versus Fiora. There really isn't. The way League is right now is impossible to ban. I know, that's what I'm saying. Like the way League is right now has no way to balance this fucking game unless they do something so drastic, like removing champions, removing like stuff from champions kits and all that. That I think Riot's never gonna change it. It's gonna be a thing where you pick the meta champion, right? You pick like GP, whatever it is, whatever you think is the strongest. You learn them, and then you basically win your lane almost every time.
Adrian, please explain better. Adrian. By the way, I just want.
You just want what? Ah, I see. You baited me with the. Oh wait, no. I wish you happy birthday. Hard to believe you're 36 now, but don't worry. But you fucked up that donation. It skipped it for some reason, my dude. How about Riven vs Jax? That's a fun one, right? No, Jax. Legitimately, Jax can't do anything.